fun because I'm doing something that I love in a place that is wonderful with great people around me. So I really am having fun in this job. Just want to talk for a few minutes today about college and career ready and what that means for our graduates as they move through high school, hopefully to the workforce or to college. We want our kids to be successful. I know many of you are Lyon County graduates, and to see you go on and become successful adults, successful business leaders, is a great reflection of our school in this community. So we want to continue that. We want to continue to have our kids ready when they leave Lyon County High School, when they shake Ms. Hurst's hand and get that diploma, that they're ready for the next chapter, whatever it is for that individual student. So appreciate today, just had an opportunity to share with you for just a few minutes some things we've got going. What is college and career ready? When you think about that in terms of KDE and how we have to answer that question, college and career ready looks like this. It's a vision that all students will reach proficiency and graduate from high school ready for college and career. Plain and simple, with the college ready benchmarks, we want our graduates to have satisfied the benchmarks, those minimum standards for reading, math, and English. Career, CTE is career technical education. They have a career major. Lot shorter, a lot smaller than a college major might be, but a career major where they've had a strain of classes that would start out at the introductory level and essentially a minimum of 3. Is that correct, Ms. Hurst? 3 in that college or that career tech pathway, and they reach their benchmarks. The state has established benchmarks for our career pathways as well. To go into a little bit more detail, what I mean by those benchmarks. For college ready, basically we're talking ACT. Been around for a long time. I even took it once. Our kids, many times, as some of you may have, take it many times now, trying to bump that score up just a little bit. But the state has established benchmarks for the ACT that if they meet that, and again, reading, math, English, they're good. They're prepared, according to the state guidelines, to make that transition to college. Now, sometimes some other factors kick in whenever we get there as a freshman in college. As I was sharing with some of my staff this morning, my first year of college, I'd met those benchmarks and I was doing great. Got to learn how to shoot pool, and I got pretty good at that first semester. Second semester, Dad said, you might want to go to class. You might want to study. So sometimes things get in the way of us beyond just those academics. The Compass test or the Coyote test is also other benchmarks that they have established, but primarily we focus first and foremost on that ACT score. That's where we want our kids to master that. The career ready, ASVAB, of course, military is related to that, and COSA is more specific to that career path that our kids might follow. We also get bonus as far as the accountability. You'll notice the 1 point, 1 point, 1.5 for our state accountability purposes, which we are a distinguished district for the 3rd year in a row. All those things go into meeting those points there. So if we have students that are both college and career ready, we get a little bonus point there, which is always a good thing for Ms. Hurst and our overall score. Career paths, Lyon County High School is in my opinion, a very traditional type high school from that aspect. We have a lot of things that were there probably when some of you went to school. We've added a few things over time, but we're not trying to be everything to everybody. We just simply can't. We don't have the resources to do that, physical space, the staffing, or the students that have the interest to offer every single thing that is out there. So we've still focused primarily on a pre-engineering program, agriculture, business, and family consumer health. Should be consumer science. Student organizations, still the same things that have been around for a good while. FFA, FBLA, FCCLA, which used to be home ec back in the day, and TSA, FHA, FCCLA. We look at those organizations to provide our students with opportunity for leadership development, skill competition, and also community involvement. You'll see our kids out and about doing different things, but those opportunities to learn to be a leader, to learn to present their ideas, and to compete in their skills are also important. You see the 4 logos there of our organizations. All those do have state and national affiliations and do some really neat things. I know some of you were involved in some of those during your high school career, as I was whenever I was a student. FBLA has done some really, really cool things this year to give our kids experiences beyond the classroom. And I think this is a neat thing that Ms. Argo has jumped into to try to broaden their horizons. While we have a wonderful world in Lyon County, there is a broader world beyond that. And we have to get our students some experience beyond what is here just in Western Kentucky. They've got to know that there's some things out there that are bigger, not always better, but that are out there, and that they have a little touch of that. So they've taken a couple of trips to Nashville this year to visit with the Predators and the Titans. We don't have professional sports teams here in our backyards, but we do just down the road. They took advantage of this and went behind the scenes to do some really, really interesting things, to see some of the things that you wouldn't see as a fan sitting in the stadium. They were able to tour about the LB Field, Bridgestone Arena. They looked and talked about career opportunities that were there. And I appreciate the work of the Predators organization specifically as they put together a program. They started out basically talking ground level, entry level jobs, all the way up to their top management, and laid it out there, what it took to enter those career pathways, what it took to be successful, and what were some of the responsibilities of those individuals in that organization. And that kind of mindset of outlining for our students what it takes to succeed, I think is something that we could do here locally to help our kids get a better understanding of what is out there here in our backyard. What does it take for them to be successful? What do you need out of an entry-level employee? What opportunities are there for growth? What opportunities are there for them to turn that part-time summer job perhaps into a long-term career? So I hope that we as a community can evolve and look at ways that we can communicate that and work together to share that with our students as they work their way through high school and begin to graduate, to have some thought. What do I want to be? What do I want to be when I grow up? And I think that's a wonderful thing that we can do and share together. So I appreciate the opportunity that FBLA provided for our students there. FFA, gosh, I was FFA advisor here once upon a time. So FFA is near and dear to my heart, and was involved in FFA growing up, but still going back to leadership training center there, Hardinsburg, Kentucky. Countless folks have been through that center over the years. And then certainly the competitions, the contests, the communication programs that they have. Gosh, it's just a very widespread program. Then all of our ag students are designed to have some type of experience program. It can be simple, it can be extravagant, but all of them have some type of hands-on learning program involved. FCCLA, again, what used to be FHA back when I was growing up at least. They do some really cool things. They've got some things going with interior design. You see the model unit here. It's kind of hard to see from where you're sitting. But basically recreate a room at a very small model scale and think about how a design might lay out. And that sounds okay, what big deal. But it is. I have a sister that graduated from college with an interior design degree and worked in Gulf Shores for a number of years doing model design work for condo companies. It really worked out great. She had a good job and I had a great place to go visit on vacation. Couldn't ask for much more. Then she decided to start a family and move back home. What was she thinking? But again, you've got small things that can grow into something big down the road for them as they learn what it is. It's their niche in life. The other thing that Ms. Hurst and I talked about, the culinary skills that our kids learn in FCCLA program and home ec classes. Just those little small catering opportunities. She's had to cater several things for her staff. And that might be something that as we grow, we might branch out. You may have some small meetings that our kids might cater a box lunch or something. We're open to those type of ideas where our kids can give back and learn at the same time. TSA, this is kind of a new program, really. You know how many years TSA has been in our schools?
I think it's been about, I don't think it was there.
Okay, so been around for a little while, maybe not as long as some of the others, but it's really a program that is growing leaps and bounds in Lyon County. Our kids want to be involved in this program. They do a lot of neat things. One of the things that they do is obviously some wood design stuff. They can build furniture in there, but also the vinyl lettering projects. That doesn't look like much there, but it does here. This is work of our students. We purchased the vinyl, we purchased the frame, but the lettering is student. All the way up to, well, what you see there, they've even re-lettered the band cargo truck. So they can do some cool things that might be of interest to your business if you've got something that's going on that you need a little extra promotional. Now, we are high school students. We're not quite professional grade, but we're close. I'll have to get you one.
That's fine, we can share.
All right. They're pretty creative in their design work. I guess the one big limitation that I see is we're tied to one color. You wouldn't necessarily see outlined in white on the LC there. But as far as something that is one color, they knock it out and will do great work. And really, I think if you talk with Mr. Thomas, you'd find they do some very creative things at a very reasonable price. But we're giving kids a hands-on skill there. This is something that they're doing as a fundraiser throughout the year. And like I said, they did this for us. They've done a few other projects around. If you drive by our bus garage, you see the distinguished banner that's on the fence there. That's our kids at work. So we've got some things that we're real proud of in that realm. They also do a lot of neat things with computer graphic and design work. Talk quickly about our dual credit program. I'm proud of the work that they're doing at the high school with dual credit. Not every person wants to go to college. We respect that and understand that. But I think it is important that every child that wants to go to college has the opportunity and the means to succeed there. The dual credit program gives them a little bit of a jump start in that step forward to college. It allows them to have a few college credits under their belt whenever they walk out the door of Lyon County High School and enroll in the community college or the four-year college of their choice. We offer 14 dual credit courses currently and look to add to that as time goes on. But we offer dual credit in agriculture, in education, in business, in math, English, and science. Pretty wide spectrum there. We may have a kid that decides to take an education class. They might work their way through that, may get the college credit, or would get the college credit, but maybe the most important thing they learn in that whole process is that they don't want to be a teacher. Isn't it a whole lot better to learn that as a high school student than wasting their money or mom and dad's money or somebody's money and being a third-year student at Murray before they realize that? So those early opportunities for introduction can be both great opportunities to learn, but sometimes the best thing we can learn is what we don't want to be. So it's a neat opportunity there. It is limited to our juniors and seniors. We don't dump freshmen right into dual credit and say, let's earn college credit. We're still trying to learn what high school is about. But we have 37 of our students currently taking dual credit courses. And right now, they're enrolled and on target to receive 379 credits. Not a bad jump start. So an average of 10. Some obviously have more than others. But that's a nice jump start to your college career. You think about a full course load is typically about 15 will get you on track to graduate on target. But let's put a dollar to this. What does this mean for Lyon County students and families? It's a value of $116,000 if it was all at Murray State at $308. And Murray is a great partner with us in this initiative. WKCTC also has some partnership too. But if this were all Murray State credit, you're looking at $115,000. That's significant savings for our families. There is a minimal cost for our families, as low as $50 a credit hour. So you can see the discounts that are there. We've also been very blessed. Some of our graduating classes of prior years have, at their class reunions, collected money to help offset the cost for our kids and have given scholarship back to the school for that portion. We've also, again, Murray State's been a great partner. They've given us some pretty significant discounts and rebates for our kids to where it's very, very small cost to our families. Which class was it? We'll give 64. Class of 64, as they met this past summer. That was one thing they presented the school with, a $500 contribution towards the cost of the tuition for our kids. But a huge opportunity. Just can't say enough about the program that we have there. We have some advanced placement courses where kids can also take those higher level classes and pass the college board exam that accompanies that, and earn college credit that way too. But primarily, we focus on our dual credit. One, because it's a better opportunity in the standpoint of they've got the credit just by passing the class. It's a dual enrollment program to where the AP is you must pass that end of course exam that's administered by the college board. And it's pretty rigorous. Sometimes it's tougher to earn than others. So how are we shoving our kids through all this? How do we manage to get them from point A to point B and leave Lyon County High School with all these credits in hand? How do we get them to leave college and career ready? How are we doing that? What are we doing today that might be different than when we went to school? You'll see some things we're doing here. We have a college counselor, is actually a retired true college counselor. It's not me, it's not Miss Hurst. It's somebody that did this professionally. But they live in our community now. They're here on a part-time basis with us. And they're coming in to advise our students on what it takes to enter college, to really go in ready. Kind of gives them an overview of what college life is all about. What is that freshman year really going to entail for you? So it's been a wonderful addition to our students that we're able to introduce this semester. Just getting started with that, but we believe it's going to have a great dividend for our kids. The academic benchmark coach also, it's a one-on-one time with our students where they get to meet and talk about college benchmarks, what it means to be ready to go to college. And as our kids become college and career ready throughout the year, we celebrate that. Almost weekly, y'all have rewards for our students as they become college and career ready. It's fun to walk in the hallway and see the lockers decorated with students that have met those benchmarks. Now back years ago, we might have seen lockers decorated during homecoming week for our basketball players or our cheerleaders, but it's really nice to see that academic emphasis and those kids getting that recognition as we go through and become more college and career ready. The academic requirements, with our schedule the way that it is today, we're able to provide more opportunities for students. We have an extra math and an extra reading course that's available to help our students that are not quite there, to help them reach that benchmark, so we give them that extra layer of support. Yes, that does take away an elective that they might enjoy a little bit more, but it does help them jump over that threshold and become college and or career ready, and that's our primary focus. The CTE teachers, they really do a great job of working with students, preparing them for those end of their program testing, the COSA testing that we referred to earlier. And we've got a very high pass rate on those. Soft skills, I know that's always something. You want to make sure you've got employees coming in that are not going to embarrass you as an employer. You know, I'm the same way as superintendent. I want to make sure that the staff that we hire, whether it's a high school principal, our custodians, our teachers, our bus drivers, whomever it may be, that they represent our organization in the best way possible. And I respect that you guys are in the same boat with that. You want to make sure that when you hire a Lyon County student or a Lyon County graduate, that first and foremost, they're not going to embarrass you, and that they're going to come in, they're going to do a good job for you. So in all of our classes, we do try to embed these type things. Understand it's important to be on time. It's important to give an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Communication skills. We want our kids to be able to look your customers in the eye and communicate. We want them to be able to do those simple things that are often taken for granted in our world of texting and tweeting and Facebook posting. Sometimes we lose. So it's important that we emphasize those things. Go back to the organizations, the communication skills. One of the best things that we can teach our kids is how to stand up in front of a group and just say a few words. And so the things like FFA and FBLA and all those competitions that we send busload after busload to participate in at Murray and across the state, it's a good investment because it's helping give those kids those skills they need to help you be successful. The leadership, again, I just go back to my own experience with FFA. I promise you a lot of my leadership, that's where I got started. And for some of you, it may have been the same thing, or it may have been FBLA, it may have been something else in school. But that's where we start to develop our leadership skills, and our support of those programs is critical for that reason alone. And last thing is just being professional. Again, not embarrassing you in your business and your organization. I've already given you the TSA vital handout there, so I want to make sure that we had that. Mr. Thomas said, please, 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 so I agreed to. And I am very proud of the work that they do. Last thing is, I just simply want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for embracing me as your new superintendent. From the very, very beginning, I have felt the support of this community, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. But most importantly, I thank you for your continued support of our school system. Without you, without the support of this community, we don't have near the success that we do. I have friends all across the state that are involved in education, and truly, we are blessed to be in Lyon County. Not every place has the level of support that we have here. So you just take it for granted because many of you have always been right here, but you just don't know how good we've got it. We're truly one of the best kept secrets of the state. There's part of me that wants to shout it from the rooftops, and part of me wants to keep it to ourselves. So again, I just sincerely say thank you for giving me a few minutes today. I'm proud of the work that Ms. Hurst and her staff does, as well as Mr. Ritchie and his staff, and Ms. Purdue and her staff at the elementary school. We've got a lot of great things going. But again, it's because you guys support us. Many of you are our parents, send your children to our schools, but we can't do it without you. So I just, again, main thing is say thank you. Any questions that you might have for either Ms. Hurst or myself?
Russ, do any of these programs require that a student do like a summer internship for credit?
I don't guess we have that for credit now. Such as the agriculture, they will have an experience program that is very, back in the day, Farrell, of course, it was strictly farm labor. You would either work on somebody's farm or you had your own little tobacco patch or whatever it may be. But it has evolved as agriculture has evolved to where it's pretty wide open and our kids can have a lot of experience programs. But certainly we do entertain the opportunity for kids, even during the school year, to co-op. Ms. Hurst and I talked about that.
We have something go out right now in the community and work, so
And
we're
we-
always open to that. If we have somebody willing to take our kids and they're at that point in their career pathway, we send them.
They've still got to be with us for English and math and science, social studies perhaps. But the rest of the day, if it's where they can go work and be released 1 o'clock or whatever the case may be,
That they're getting,
they're getting school
We
credit.
get school to work
Yeah.
credit, that's what they get.
So absolutely, we can do those kind of things. That's during the school year. And it could be, we can be pretty flexible with that, even how that might be designed.
Just let us
So
know.
we're open to ideas to get our kids experience and again, to help you guys. Because I know that many of you do rely on our kids for some of your labor force, and we want to help you with that.
who do the employers need to contact if they're interested?
They would need to contact myself or Ms. Boone.
Any other
I
questions?
have a
Yes,
quick
ma'am.
question on the cost of the credit, college credit courses here. Do you have any families that are struggling to pay that? And are you looking for scholarships for that?
This year was the first year we had a scholarship from the community. Murray State had given us a grant before, and there's also a scholarship called the Mary Jo Young Scholarship. But any help would be great, because we do have some kids that some of us take care of just so they can get that, because that may be the only college classes they ever get. But any type of help that the community would be willing to give, that would be great. I know the class of 64, their 500 donation, I think it was for 4 students, and one of those students, they paid for 2 courses for him. So it's helping a lot of our kids. And the classes range from 157 to 189, and then of course they have the books. But I've showed them how to rent their textbooks, so it's not costing them as much money, and so that's a big thing too. So, because they're getting books for $15 a semester compared to $150 for a semester. So,
But even at that high end, it's still about a third of the price of the full
Yes.
credit.
Yeah.
so they're really getting a good deal. But we do have a lot of families that, I mean, we try to take care of them somehow. So we get them in there. If they want to do it, we find a way. So.
Is there something like a GPA that could keep the enter that program
Racer Academy at Murray State, you have to have a 3.0
in high school?
in high school to get in Racer Academy. Sometimes they'll look at it a little different. It may be, if you don't, like if you have a 2.9, but you're in the top 20% of the class, we can get them in that way. But most of the time, those kids that want to take that, they are up in that 2.9 to 4.0 average, so that's really only it. Now, for the math course, you have to have met some benchmarks. 'Cause we're offering college algebra right now and a math elective, so you have to have met the benchmarks on our ACTs. Yeah, it's really a good opportunity for kids.
Do you think with JA in the school, the junior achievement, I know that I volunteered for that, I'm sure there's other people in here that have taught that before. Do you think that has gotten them, is that an asset, like has it gotten them to think about being an entrepreneur? Because, you know, a lot of Chamber of Commerce, you know, you think it's bringing that business back to Lyon County, what they've been.
I think it certainly has its place, and it's
Yes.
a small piece of the overall puzzle.
I think as much information as we can get our kids, the better, so they have more opportunities and things to choose from. I know this time when JA came in, they did a focus on finance. And that was a good thing, because a lot of our kids started realizing, oh, it's gonna cost me money to go to college, it's gonna cost me money to buy a car, and that helped them think about that too. But I've also heard them talking about entrepreneur stuff too, when y'all did that version, so. It's just, I think anything we can get them, and even from outside sources helps too, because they kind of get tired of hearing us every day over and over. So it's good to see people in the actual job, so.
Again, I look at education, we plant a lot of seeds. Some of them grow and mature, and we see the harvest. Others may not always grow as quickly as some of the others, so we just keep planting lots of seeds, and I think JA certainly is one of those seeds, and one that we value. But yes, it takes lots of different angles, not everything, there's no one single thing that's gonna catch all of our kids, so we do have to have lots of different things out there.
Russ, I know Nancy Daniels sends out a newsletter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if anybody in here is interested to subscribing to that, they can get you their email address or something like that. And we have a newsletter, we have a monthly newsletter, and next one's coming out actually the 1st of February. And I'm thinking that if there's anything in that particular newsletter describing some of these programs, the co-op program or anything else that you think would be interesting to the business community, you know, I'll certainly give you a page on that within that. We need to get that to me next week.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I think there's some opportunities out there for businesses to take advantage of, as well as your students, but you need to know that.
I think this TSA project would be perfect to be in there because, you know, a lot of businesses need a small sign or whatever, and so.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something that you got an event, so some type of event for your business, it's just gonna be a few days, and you can invest a little bit of money with our kids, and yeah, they're gonna need a little bit of notice, because it's not a business per se, we still have to have class. So they've gotta do it as a club activity, which sometimes is after school. So yeah, it's hard for them to produce things overnight, but with a little bit of lead time, they can do some really neat things.
And if there's anything special you want, like they had ordered this special, because we don't keep a lot of stuff on hand, but if there's a specific color or a specific banner color, they just order that, and it's in usually within a week, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the stand and all that, we ordered separately, and Mr. Thomas has searched and found some pretty good suppliers of things like that, and if you wanted something like that, they certainly could do that.
It's interior, exterior, cars, trucks, boats.
Yeah, I mean, they a little bit of everything. I don't guess we've done any folks yet, but they had the band truck, which was a pretty big project. All the vinyl lettering that you see out there on our fence, as far as promoting the distinguished districts, they did that work, so I'm pleased with them, proud of what they're doing. I think it's a nice little skill, and it's a wonderful fundraiser for their club, which in turn allows them to go and see and do more things.
Any more questions for Russ? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.